Yo, what up? This is Blazed. Alright, so this is going to be a video on all the new abilities Druids are getting in Cataclysm for every spec. Starting off, we got Insect Swarm. Now this is going to be baseline for all three specs. I don't know how you're going to use this as Feral. Maybe there's some niche situations where you can't be in melee. You could press this. Doesn't have the hit reduction anymore. Is pretty low on mana too. Less mana than Moonfire, but less damage, so it's actually less efficient. But you can use this as Resto too. It's a decent dot. Another dot you got as Resto at least. Next up, we got Soothe. Soothe. Obviously, we had Soothe Animal in Wrath of the Lich King, which was like a Mind Soothe for animals. They got rid of that, scrapped it. Can't do that anymore. There's not many beasts in dungeons anyway, so not a big deal. But now it removes enrage effects, so this will be huge if you don't have a hunter or a rogue or whatever, anything that can dispel enrage. You can get this now. In PvP, it's really good. You can get off reflex off warriors. Can be used for that as well. Yeah, that's Soothe. Next, we got Wild Mushroom. Now, I didn't think every spec got this, but I guess they do. You could throw it on 3. And then that's on global, but the detonate isn't on global. So you could pre-throw these down before a fight run in, and then you could just detonate them. Unless they like despawn when you pull the boss or something crazy. But you should be able to pre-throw these down and then blow them up during the fight. So pretty good, pretty good. Pretty good in AoE too. Boomkin has some ways of buffing them as well. They can slow. When they're triggered, they slow everything for 50%. That's pretty good. I think there's another talent as well. But yeah, mushrooms gonna be good, especially if they do enough damage. We'll see what the tuning's like, but definitely using it as Boomkin. The other specs maybe not as much, but you can. Every spec has it. Next we got Thrash. Now there is this. I only have a bear form one on the beta. But there's a cat version as well. So there's a bear and a cat version. Use this, get up the dot, and then you go back to swiping, basically. Might be something to use on Omen of Clarity procs. I'm not sure though if it'll be worth. It is pretty low on rage though, so it might just be something to use. Just keep the dot up. We'll have to see. But as bear, you're definitely use this to keep threat in AoE situations. Cat, you want to do AoE damage with it. But you might use it in single target, we'll see. Next we got Stampeding Roar. Really good. You can give everybody move speed in the entire raid. It's only a 10-yard range though, so you gotta watch out for that. Gotta make sure you're positioned well. And you get as many people as you can, but and then there's a cat version and a bear version. I don't know if we're going to need this macro. Where is it here? So you just put it all on one button with this macro. But maybe it'll just swap. Right now it just doesn't show us both on here. Even if I shift or anything, it just only shows you one at a time, either cat or bear. And the other one's just not even showing. So I'm sure that's a bug though. We'll see. You might need this macro here. Next up we got Revitalize. Now this is one that nobody's heard of, I think, because we have mass res normally in Kata, but it looked like they just gave mass res to all the hybrid classes, all the healer classes basically. So, and it's not going to be in the guild thing anymore, which I'm fine with, honestly. Everybody just gets mass res, like that's works for me. Even like if a feral is the only one alive, he can just mass res as well. You know, the tank, he goes soulstone on the tank. Everybody dies, the tank soulstones up, and fucking reses everybody, so definitely good. Next we got Skull Bash. Now this one is big. We got an interrupt, more reliable. You can hit it from range. You don't need feral charge from the feral tree. Every spec gets this. You can use it bear or cat. And you can make a macro for it if it doesn't just swap automatically. Got it right here on screen. I'll put it in the description as well. But being able to Skull Bash 1 minute cooldown, but it is off global, which is nice. If you're not feral or anything, you can't really kick right away. If you're going to the cat ones, you're going to be going bear and then in raised regen, I think is the strategy there for if you're like a resto or something, or Boomkin trying to do it. But Boomkin's going to have solar beam, so you can still Skull Bash even though you're solar beaming, but yeah, Skull Bash is really good. Last one, it's not really a new ability, so say, but Omen of Clarity is going baseline. All 3 specs are going to have it. It doesn't proc off HOTS anymore except for Life Bloom for resto. But everybody else, it's either damage abilities or cast time healing spells, so Nourish, Regrowth, you know. And then any damage ability it'll work on, so that's really good to have. And as feral, it procs off auto attacks too, so pretty big. Alright, now for class or spec specific. So Boomkin is getting 2 new abilities. You're getting Star Surge and Solar Beam. So Star Surge, instant cast, or no, not instant cast. 15-second cooldown though. It buffs either of your lunar or solar energy going towards your eclipse, whatever one is preferable for you at the time. So pretty good, pretty good. It can go instant cast as well with a talent. It can proc instant cast with shooting stars. This actually procs a good amount too. If you're just dotting everything in like AoE, you get a few dots off before the tank has threat, and then you throw out your, you know, Starfall Hurricane. Just a few dots you put up can proc this pretty good. Get a single target as well, or you know, 2-3 target. Procs a good amount, but it does have a 15-second cooldown. Even if it is instant cast, doesn't like reset the cooldown, but good ability for sure. And then the last one you get is Solar Beam. Solar Beam's huge, silences everything. You know, you got 4 casters in a pack, a trash pack. Yeah, as long as your tank isn't moving around, which, you know. But if the tank isn't moving around, this will hit everybody. Or even if, you know, even if they are moving around, you hit the casters, interrupt their cast, and they move with the tank at least where he wants them to go. This is really good in PvP as well. It does seem like the range on this might be low though, or maybe it's just an animation thing, but it really good in PvP as well if you can get good uses out of it. Lasts for 10 seconds too, which is kind of crazy. You also could do things where, like, you know, a rogue or somebody stuns somebody. You could just beam on top of them, and they can't use a lot of their defensives. A lot of defensives can't be used while you're silenced. So you can, like, stun, beam, and then smoke bomb. Rogue smoke bombs, and that person's dead. Unless they got a trinket, and you're not doing this on somebody that has a trinket up, so really good. In arenas, it'll be good too. You don't have mass entangle, you get an instant root beam. You might be able to cast a root and then beam them, but there's more outplay from the healer if they're just spamming Dispel on themselves. It'll just instantly dispel it, and you won't be able to get it, so unless you're like perfectly timed with it or they're slow. But really good ability. You don't need to shift into cat or bear to kick. You can just use this. Super nice. Now for Feral, Feral is getting Pulverize, which is a new ability. I have it here on screen. Eats up your, or does damage with the more lacerate applications you have. You know, so you'll be getting lacerates up early on, and then you could press this. Has no cooldown though, so you can kind of spam this. And it's only for bear, so feral like damage doesn't get this really, or doesn't get to use this, but that's okay. They got a lot of other stuff they can use. So, and then yeah, that's it for new abilities. Resto isn't getting anything new, so per se. Active abilities anyway. You got a bunch of other interactions. You got efflorescence and stuff. No active abilities though you're getting as Resto that I didn't say in the beginning. You get a bunch of abilities baseline, but no actually like healing ones. And that's it for the new Druid abilities for Cata. This is Blazed. Like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that can make sense. They hate